Traficant.
What happened?
It's bowing down to you just like Obama does.
I'm telling you, I'm going to call Mo Brown up here and straighten this thing out. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be anywhere. I noticed all the press here.
Not for a lack of trying.
Jim Traficant's coming, you're not going to have no press.
It's okay, they don't love you as much as we do.
It's going to be a hell of a fight. It's good to see people come out in a dinner hour like this that are interested in government. There's not enough around here. I saw the headlines yesterday. The unemployment rate in this area is the highest again in the state and one of the highest in the nation. But what troubled me even more was several months ago they had a listing in one of the national papers, either the Wall Street Journal or the USA Today, of the best and worst cities. They listed them by cities. Youngstown was next to last, but when they mentioned Youngstown, they didn't say Youngstown City like the rest. They said Youngstown area. The whole area. I think you can see what's happening. You know, I was away there in art school. My art was selling and averaging $2,800 a shot on eBay. They confiscated all my paintings and all my paint. It was a hell of an ordeal. And I sent a letter to the court, and they all backed up and gave me my paintings back. But I've been through a hell of an ordeal. I know what people are saying. I understand nonverbal behavior as well as anybody, anywhere. But I want to say this to you, I could have had a full pardon in 9 months. All I had to do was say I was guilty. That's a hell of a temptation. First prison I was put in was 60% illegal immigrants. And I was a congressman that passed on the House floor to put 10,000 U.S. soldiers on our border to keep drugs and illegal immigrants out and to throw illegal immigrants out. So I slept with one eye open. The next thing you know, I had a fella there that said, my mother's your biggest fan. He worked there. And he said, be careful, they want to hurt you in the worst way. Next thing you know, I was charged with a riot. Unbelievable. I found myself at a medium high, next step to the full penitentiary. And everywhere you went, you walked through metal detector, guys getting cut, hurt every day. They were all concerned about me, though, because I told them I was in there for murder. You have to survive. But Nelson Mandela made a point, if you want to know a nation, literally, you have to go through the prison system. And I've seen the other side. I send a message back to then President Bush. He shoved the pardon up his assets sideways. I don't think anybody thought I would live through this. Probably thought I'd get hurt or maybe die, hopefully. I can remember meeting and asked to be meeting with young John Gotti, the son, in Raybrook. And I stopped and he introduced himself. He said, Jim, don't take medication. He said, my father come in Dapper Dan and 23 months later he died of cancer, and he said his jaw fell off and rotted off his face. The next thing you know, they said I had a twisted corkscrew aorta and wanted to medicate me. I wouldn't be medicated. That's how I ended up at Rochester Medical Center. Don't think that was a walk in the park. all the nuts and the crazies were there. You had to sleep with one eye open there as well. But guess what? When I got there, they said, well, it really wasn't a corkscrew. You don't want to hear about all that, but I think you know my records. When I drive up here to 422, I can remember a county commissioner saying this, listen. When Traficant brings the vice president of CBS Sports and his baseball team to Niles, Ohio, pigs will fly. Baseball club there. It's an A-League that's only 62 dates a year. So there's 31 home dates, and it helped the strip and the businesses on the strip. But what people don't realize, if that moves to a AA or AAA, you're going to have 120 games, so long, Anita, get out. Had it with you too. You got to go to some function, go ahead. But anyway, if that graduates to a 120 game season, you're going to have 61 home dates. People do not realize, in addition to 300 jobs, the ancillary spin-off for these businesses up around here. People aren't looking for that type of economic impact. Everybody's looking for the government to come in here and give us money. And I laugh because I saw an $800 billion stimulus bill with only $57 million going to the 3 counties. Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana. I used to average $150 million in the highway bill. And what I do not understand is they're building 4 casinos in the state of Ohio. And the highest impact unemployed area and the hardest hit economic area is here, and we're not in it. And I'm going to tell you why we're not in it. You don't have anybody with the political testicles to tell them if one of those casinos do not come here, we're going to vote you out. Now, they may not like my style, but somebody had to tell them, listen, we're tired of being overlooked. Now, what really bothers me is I have a $500 million project underway, and it's going to happen. The Chamber of Commerce has never called. No politician has offered any support other than David Lute, who was willing to assist. And some politicians went under the table and contacted the people and said, we'll get you a better deal because we can get you to governor. Traficant can't get you to governor. Yeah, they said we couldn't get a convention center either. Well, I have surprises for them. I will make that happen. It's all over. They're all going to sign off.